I'm reviewing Thor: The Dark World, and I'm going to defend this film and prove to everyone that's anyways. Look, I know I've made a lots of tens of negative reviews in the Marvel films, but especially this film. In the past when I first started YouTube show, but I watched the film again with glasses, and it didn't strain my eyes or it gave me a headache because I had glasses on. And I also set the TV settings to the proper color, to proper TV settings set right. And that's another reason why I started defending the film. So, yeah, so, there is a story in this film, but it's not as, I think this is a bad Thor film, but, it's a bad Thor film, but not a bad Thor story. And what I mean by that is it's not as good a Thor story as the first Thor, because I feel like this is more of Loki's story than a Thor story. And the sequel, and the first one was more of a Thor story than Loki's story, because it was more heavily based on Thor's character than Loki's character. Not that Loki didn't play a important role, and he did, but it was obvious that the story. This is about sort of both of them, Thor and Loki, and it does it well, very effectively. So. There are people that hate this because they feel like these ruin Loki's redemption arc that Thor Dark World was going for. And to that I say, not really, because he did have a redemption arc, but he kept on being evil because of the redemption arc. He's a slightly less of a douchebag now. And, and I feel like the Loki's redemption arc started in Thor Thor: The Dark World, but ended in Thor Ragnarok. And so that Loki, so technically I feel like you have to see these two Thor movies, Thor: The Dark World and Thor Ragnarok, and to get the whole scope of Loki's redemption arc. That's kind of why in Infinity War we see a completely different Loki. And he's killed off in the first 5 minutes. So anyway, the story's about Thor returns to Jane after he couldn't see her during the Bifrost, and turns out she just disappeared for over an hour, and then her best friend called the cops, and next thing you know, she's going to be on arrest, and Thor takes her to Asgard after this giant explosion comes out of Jane that's red, and turns out it's like there's also basically some sort of parasite that's slowly killing Jane, and will eventually if they don't get it out of her. So he did the right thing, taking her to Asgard to her to get examined. But after Odin, who just thought it would be a good idea to get people to touch her, and Thor advised against it, and he ended up getting kind of hurt a little. So that's when Odin realized what it was. It's that parasite that is from the Dark World that these Dark Elves wanted to rule all all realms. It's basically a parasite, but it doesn't call it a parasite, but that's basically what it is. So, the Dark Elves invade Asgard and kill Thor's mother and Loki's mother, who is actually Thor's biological mother and Loki's adoptive mother. Now, Odin's blinded by rage due to the grief of losing the lover of his life, and now, going to bring word on the Dark Elves, and now have Jane as her prisoner because of it. So tries to reason with Odin, but he sees that he's too far down the path of grief he's blinded by grief and rage to not see clear anymore. But even though Thor's blinded by it, he says that he still sees clearly enough that how Odin's seeing is is kind of nuts and completely batshit insane. To go to war with the Dark Elves. So he comes with his group of friends and Heimdall come up with his plan to go against to commit treason towards his father to do the right thing. So they steal Jane out of prison and bring Jane out of prison and break Loki out of prison. And so Loki and Thor go to the Dark World to trick these Dark Elves into getting the parasite of Jane and making it look like that Loki backstabbed Thor, only to reveal part of the plan. And then Loki is mortally wounded, only to reveal that's part of Loki's plan, his own plan, agenda to become king of Asgard. So, and during this very funny and creative climax scene is finding out the king of the Dark Elves from the Dark World. And with the help of Jane Foster and her friends, they defeat him by sending separate parts of his body to the dark dimension, to different dimensions, and saying big part of his body back to the dark dimension, and the ship right on him to the dark dimension, so he's dead. It was kind of funny, actually, if you saw it. Loki has taken over has disguised himself as Odin. So when Thor confronts his father about his treason, he's left off the hook completely and free to go back to Earth, to Mid-Realm, Midgard, known as Earth, to be with Jane. And he got a little slow, gets to keep the hammer because he's worthy. And we have a little, a sentimental, we see the sentimental side of Odin, saying he is proud, but he cannot admit that he is proud due to the place of him being king, because due to his place of being king, he cannot admit that he's proud, even though he is proud of his son. And Thor smiles that he made his father proud, and only to reveal that it is Loki speaking. So at the end credits, Earth I mean, after the end credits, while Jane and her friends having breakfast and wondering when Thor if he's ever going to return, Thor returns and then right away, and while they're having breakfast, and kisses Jane, and they live happily ever after until Thor Ragnarok when the broke up off screen. So that was just a bit of a, but that was what am I looking for? That was that. So that happened, and Ragnarok, but seems a little out of nowhere though. So I'm giving this film I'm giving Thor Ragnarok a 10 out of 10 and this a 9 out of 10. Yes, Thor Ragnarok was more corny. This one in the first two Thor films was more serious. But I feel like the Ragnarok knew what it meant to be, got the impression what it was like to read a Thor comic. Because Thor comics were cheesy and silly a little bit at times. And I feel like the first two Thor films were also, but they didn't fully embrace it like Ragnarok did. Not that Ragnarok couldn't be serious at times, it was, all of the times, but it did with such style and stuff, and gave it such Thor personality, and it was what I'm trying to say is it's like was the first Thor film to truly capture what it was like reading a Thor comic. And I hope it continues that in the next Thor film, Thor Love and Thunder. This, this is basically what I... Look, Thor Ragnarok, I can only imagine, I don't know if people have mixed feelings about this, but I know they have mixed feelings about this, and mixed feelings about the first Thor film, so, people might have mixed feelings about Thor Ragnarok, I don't know, and, my only regret that Thor Ragnarok did was broke up Jane and Thor, after having two films and then finally being together at the end of the sequel after the mid-credits, and you'll think, oh, the next film is going to have that relationship, romantic relationship, actually effective, actually already of that romantic relationship already happening. But no, instead we got him break up, and then instead we gotta get Vision and Wanda, also known as Scarlet Witch, relationship effective, because they're not interesting. But you know, it happened in the comics, so money's golden, so people will buy and see it. And actually, we'll kill off Vision when the first time that Wanda and Vision are a couple in the first movie that they were a couple in, and then we'll tie into WandaVision somehow. Well, we bring Vision back and they're a couple again. But I don't know what WandaVision has come out yet, but that's what the trailer's telling me. I'm sorry, but I really hate Wanda and Vision as a couple because they're not interesting. Maybe WandaVision will make them interesting. A couple and believable couple, and actually, I don't know, maybe they'll feel like a couple other than outside the script says so. You know, like Steve Trevor, and same goes for another couple that has this problem if Steve Trevor and Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. In the 2017 Wonder Woman film, but hey, they're going to get back together in the sequel, so maybe they'll they'll develop them as a couple, maybe, in the sequel of Wonder Woman. So yeah, this is Thor the Dark World in the first two Thor films is as good as gets a 9 out of 10. Like Spider-Man Far From Home gets 9 out of 10, I think. And yeah, that's I'm tired. I'm not going. That's all. Bye.